So Noel, I've got a 9-foot putt. What's my approach to this?
For
what
me,
do you recommend my approach to this is?
For me, it's like there's a great saying I use all the time, Steve, right? As we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Right? So it's accepting some responsibility. So obviously we've got one of two processes, if you like, decisions to make in terms of, it's all about pace, right?
Right.
Right?
All right, okay.
So understanding that really...
It's all about pace, not about line?
Absolutely. I mean, we're not... I mean, you can knock this 2-foot pass, but you're very unlikely to be 2 feet left or right.
Okay.
And exactly the same with that. So we prioritise, and this is what we learn in elite sport, we prioritise the bit that matters the most, the bit that makes the biggest difference. That's the key bit. So again, like from when we make a decision to commit to pace rather than line, we can then accept responsibility, because obviously it's not like luck or anything else involved in it. It's like the ball only got towards the hole because you hit it.
Yep.
So you set some responsibility for that.
Okay.
You know, if I go and jump in the bunker and I'm covered with sand, I can't very well complain about that. No. You know, I did that.
Blame,
well,
right.
Exactly. I chose to do that, right?
Okay.
So it's like, and this is exactly the same. Like, you know, if a player chooses to play like a strong pace towards the hole. Now, what's the upside of that? Well, the ball could end up, say a player chose to be that far past the hole, which is quite a common kind of process,
yep,
right? Okay. And you know, lots of people get kind of taught that. Now, the upside of that is every ball will stand a chance of dropping if you execute that as a pace
because
decision.
It's gone past the hole.
Exactly,
yep.
Right?
So I've been aggressive.
Exactly, of course you're being aggressive, but it's like every ball's at least got a chance, because any ball that's short has zero chance of going in,
okay. Right?
So that's at least got a chance, right? Now, that's the upside of that process. The downside of that process is dynamically we've made the hole smaller,
yeah.
Right?
Because of the pace of the putt.
Exactly, right? So obviously it's 4 1/4 inches, but so this is why putts, you know, lip out and end up here, you know, or even back where it was pointing, as one did for me last night. But generally it's like, you know, you accept some responsibilities for it. And okay. This is again where I say, as we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change.
Yep.
And it's like, well, I chose that as my process, and I have to accept the downside that draws to that.
So if that rolls over the edge, because there's too much pace on it, that I just have to accept the fact that I've done that.
Of course you did. You chose that as a process.
Okay.
For me, now obviously players could choose a one or two options, and they could choose different options during the course of the round, if that's what they chose to do. For me, I always do the other way, right? So for me, I always play dead weight. So if I miss the putt, I want it to be there. And obviously, there's a great chance I'm going to hit there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be short. But again, I chose that path.
Yep.
But the downside to that is some of them have zero chance of dropping.
Yep.
But I take that responsibility on it.
Okay, so your approach is more of a lag into the hole.
Yeah.
Knowing that you could leave it short, but that's on you. But then I guess the hole will probably play slightly larger, because it's going to fall in.
Of course it is.
The opposite of what you mentioned before.
And that's what we'll demonstrate here just now. So that's the upside of that. But again, I need to accept all the responsibility for choosing that process. So when I do that, there's nothing to be angry or upset about.
Aye.
Right? So, as you know, 4 1/4 inches, right? Ball's 1.68 inches.
Yep.
So this is just shy of 5 inches, 4.8 inches. So it's actually, as we can see, cameraman, this is wider than the hole, but yet at zero pace
they'll all go in,
they'll all drop, right? But obviously if we hit them at a much bigger pace,
yes,
they're not all going to drop, right? So dynamically we're making the hole bigger by choosing that, but it is a responsibility. And just to kind of illustrate it further, so that's the channel. So if we see like how big the channel is, right? Now, I don't know about you, I mean, especially with your skills, right? I'd be kind of confident in terms of hitting it between X there and there. Obviously, that's just to illustrate the width of it.
Yep.
But I could pretty much hit driver and get through that.
That's really clever.
From a line
Most guys,
perspective.
when they pick a line, and I coach, the line of the golf ball is very thin. And,
Yeah.
and on my putter is very, very thin as well.
Yeah.
And it's a continuation of that thin line. That's hard to keep your ball on that.
Yeah.
And if your line's this thick, you know, at that pace, much more forgiving, much more chance to go in.
Yeah. But again, as we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So it's like in terms of hitting it along that line, if it is at dead weight, then that's how big the hole is. Now, but obviously, if you hit it at a much faster pace and choose the other option, so that if it was to miss, it was going to be that far back.
Yep.
Now, dynamically,
Yeah.
the hole lessens up. Now, to the point that this becomes zero,
The further
if
that
you
goes
roll
back,
it at that piece. Because dynamically, you know, obviously the ball's never going to drop because the ball's going so fast it's going to fall over that. Again, it's just a decision.
So it's accepting that though. I think it's the acceptance side of things that, because we walk off the green and we're upset because we've missed the putt. And 80 on the PGA Tour, 20-foot putt, guys are only holding 40% of them.
Yeah.
And a large percentage of the 40% are for par, not for birdie. So
Yeah.
it's when they have to hole it. And they come off there, and you can see they're upset, but they should only hole less than half of it. But we expect to hold them all. You know,
Which is just,
and
it's
you're
just
right.
mad.
And
And,
if I've got
they're
the-
on a better green than us.
If I've got the exactly,
Right.
if I've got the acceptance here that I'm pouring this in and I've left it short, then that's on me. I can walk away going, well, that was part of the deal. That's fine. I've actually done
Yeah.
a good thing. Let's move on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just like jumping in the bunker.
Yeah.
Like if I want to do that, I'm accepting I'm going to get covered in sand, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What I mean, there's to me, there's nothing to accept here. Like this is a no-brainer. Right? Like where that white ball lands is not going to be in charge of how I feel.
Right. Okay.
Whereas it is for most players.
Yes.
I mean, the location of this white ball, whether it's on the edge of the hole or it's below ground,
Yeah.
completely ruining somebody's day. You know, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. It's not the ball whipping out. That's not what's upsetting. It's us deciding that that's upsetting. That's what makes it upsetting.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to happen for everybody. If Rory has 3 putts, what's wrong with us having 3 putts? Absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
And then the line side of things, so that's pace. And then do you feel as though, from a psychological point of view as well, does the pace dictate the line?
Right.
If I've got a bit more bend on this, so this is coming now from the left, do I visualise that same width of line, but the entry to the hole is now here instead of straight up and down?
Correct. I mean, there's all sorts. We could have that big line, obviously, with a bank on it,
Yeah.
if there's a lot of break on that.
Right.
So you could, for example, again, it's about players finding what works for them. We could, for example, visualise that arc, and the ball's going to kind of stay on that arc, and it's 5 inches wide.
Yeah.
You know, it being like that. Or if a player chooses the other option, and that he's going to hit, so every ball's got a chance,
Yeah.
pace-wise, and he has to understand that he's dealing with a much narrower window.
He's pushing it in.
And so it's about working what works for you. If you want to see that kind of like a short tracer, if you like, what you see on TV, but on the green, then we can, you know, you could see that. For others, it's like a clock face, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so they'd see it, you know, coming in at 8 o'clock or whatever, and dropping in on that side.
Absolutely.
It's about finding what works for you. We all like different clothes, you know, like we all like different foods and stuff in life. It's about finding the stuff that works for a certain player.
Yeah.
What works for me would be very challenging for most players. You know, that would be quite an extreme step.
Right.
But obviously, you know, if the game's split in half, we've got the technical side of the game, which you do, and then on one side, we've got the mental emotion side of the game, and it's 50-50. Not that one's more important, it's just that the game's in half, and players just think it's all about one side, and it's not. You know, but obviously from a skill set point of view, my skill set technically, as you know, it's really bad because, you know, even
that
you're
bad.
challenged to fix that.
Hard work.
He gave up one session. But it's like, but obviously on the mental side of things, obviously my skill set's profound. So in terms of this is much different path to doing than most players would want to do.
So, I've hit my ball to the green. So your average golfer that's out there, he's hit his ball on the green, he's left himself here with 10 or 12 feet. Does he come up here, pick his line and visualise, if he's pouring it in, visualise that 5 foot strip and just play it?
I think if that's what feels good to them, it's
Yeah.
like, it's always about, like, you know, we choose any path, and anything we choose in life, it's all about emotions.
Yeah.
And how we feel.
Okay.
So you find a process that works really well for you.
Yeah.
If they want to hop onto the green with one on one leg, you know, and that works well for them. Do you see how athletic I was there
saw
at 53? Then if that works well for them, then, or turn their cap with that, you know, whatever. If that works for them, then crack on. You know, that's okay. There's no kind of like right or wrong. But as I say, like, let me take you through like what I do. But as I say, like, that's going to be quite a step for most players. As I say, like, for me, this is all about trust.
Yep.
And I trust that something inside me's got this, right? So obviously we've got two sides of our brain. We've got a clever side of our brain, which is like a supercomputer, right? And we've got our dumb side of our brain, which is like a wristwatch, right? Everything we consciously do is the dumb side of our brain working it out, right? So for a player coming up and deciding, okay, you know, doing all this, and okay, it's this far off to this side, and then working out, you know, how far to hit this. Okay, that's slightly uphill. Which way is the wind going? Your dumb side's doing all of that, right? But our supercomputer right now is like, it's firing my heart. I'm regenerating cells. Consuming that lovely mac and cheese I had in the clubhouse earlier, you know, all of this is going on automatically. We don't have to think about any of this. All this is happening automatically because our supercomputer has got this all day long. So this is this leap of faith. It's like stepping off a cliff and trusting you're not going to fall. And that's when ultimately we're working towards in the mental aspect of the game. For me, and God, I'm going to hit this putt, I might do something absolutely awful, but I'm okay with that. I'm not making decisions here. I'm just walking round, having a look at the putt, and that's all I have to do. And I step into the putt, and it's only like here, then I see how much I'm aiming. I'm not deciding to do that. Like, I'm trusting my supercomputer is going to put me wherever it thinks is best play.
Quite instinctive, eh?
Yeah, I'm not making decisions. I'm just completely like letting go of that and walking through that process, and being okay with that. And again, I'm absolutely okay with the outcome. I mean, whether this ball goes in the hole or it doesn't, it's just absolutely no event for me. There's nothing to get over. It's not like I'm suppressing or dealing with this situation. Not at all.
It's not a big deal.
There's just it's a complete non-event for me. There's nothing to get over. If it goes in, great. If it doesn't, I just don't care. From there, but again, from pace perspective, I'm really happy with that. I mean, it's the first time I've hit a part of this course in when the last year, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, right? so the average golfer can come into golf now on the putting green, not necessarily not worry about line, but it's more about pace. It's more about, are they going to pour it in or hit it in? And as you said, when you're walking around the hole there, you're just observing what's actually in front of you. Not doing too much homework, just step on. I'm happy, I'm going to pour this in like you were going to do there.
Yeah.
Job done.
And that's something for them to try, but again, most players would find that challenging. But if they feel for them, they want to start, okay, it's slightly left to right, and making judgments on that, that's absolutely fine. If that's what works for you, then that's great.
Cool.
But ultimately, nirvana is, we're not making any decisions.
Chill. Love it.
Because we've got this.
Superb. Good man. Thank you. There we go. So that was awesome from Noel Flannery. I'll leave links to Noel's social network, etc. below. But for me, the main thing there was that 5 inches. That line to your golf ball, that line from ball to hole, is actually a lot wider than you think it is if you're pouring that putt in. And yes, you have to accept the fact you might leave it short now and again, Well, that's the trade-off, because if you hit it hard, the opposite's going to happen. It narrows that line. That was the win for me. Leave comments, let me know what you took out of that video. That was brilliant. Cheers.